Hey guys, and welcome to 10 Things You Didn't Know About Final Fantasy 6. Number 1. Battle Speed. The battle speed function in Final Fantasy 6 is a pretty interesting one. Setting it to 6 is the slowest, and 1 is the fastest, obviously. But it only affects the enemy's ATB, not the players. So this means on battle speed 6, enemies will get a whole lot less turns in the same time frame as on battle speed 1. You'll see the ghosts here get to turns 2 and 3 much faster. So you can mostly think of this as a difficulty function. You can also use the active and wait functions, since they only affect ATB accumulation while inside menus or on options that halt ATB, like Runic, Blitz, and Mimic. So this is the way that you can make the game easier or harder depending on what you want. I figured we'd start this top 10 off with something a little more known and a little easy. Number 2. Counter canceling. Have you ever fought a boss and thought, wow, this guy really isn't doing anything? While a lot of bosses and enemies do have empty turns, meaning their turn is to literally do nothing, you could have also come across a phenomenon known as counter canceling. What it is when an enemy has full ATB and you trigger a counter. What happens is the counter attacks, but now the boss's ATB will be stuck for about 10 to 15 seconds, essentially freezing them and letting you get free hits on them. Here you can see Welk Shell and Ultros as examples since they always start with 0 ATB, so it's easy to manipulate. Welk Shell will counter with Megavolt, and then he will not groove for a while since his ATB is stuck at full. And Ultros will counter with Ink, and thereby will not use Tentacle for quite a while. Number 3. Esper Bonus Bug. Esper bonuses are actually the only way to get any permanent stat increases on your characters. Leveling up will only increase the HP, the MP, and obviously the level. However, we can raise these stats with the Esper bonuses when leveling. Fun little fact about this though. When you die, you go to your last save point of the game, but you get to keep all your levels. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Not so fun thing, you lose all the Esper stat bonuses you got during the point of the saving and the death. You can reset the console, however, to get all of your levels back down again if you really want those stat bonuses. Number 4. Fast escapes. Sometimes when you have a preemptive strike or a side attack, everyone runs away but not at the same time. We can actually make this consistently happen though. What we need to do is generate enough lag to make them all leave at once, and this can change depending on how many enemies are on the screen. If there's a single enemy, all you need to do is defend right when the banner is ending and everyone will run at once. When there are 2 enemies on the screen, you need to use a special, such as Steal, Blitz, or Help. Keep in mind, using Blitz, you don't actually have to put anything in, you just need to click on Blitz and hit A right away. When there's 3 or more enemies on the screen, there's enough lag that there isn't an issue for everyone to run away, except for some outlier encounters, such as the 3 trappers in Magitech Factory. Number 5. Item usage in battle. Another fun bug in this game. When a character is queued up to use an item, but hasn't actually used it yet, due to death or a status effect like Frozen or Stop, the item is considered used during the battle, despite never actually being used and just queued. After the battle, you will notice the item does come back. And this is why it's always good to have some spares. Number 6. Imping Naughties. When leaving the floating continent, you'll have some forced and random encounters against an enemy called the Naughties. Most of the time you can beat them up with magic or physicals, they're usually not very tough. But did you know, casting Imp on them has a pretty funny effect. They will cast Imp back on themselves and then flee the battle. Pretty funny strategy if you don't really want to fight them. Number 7. Sealed Cave Hidden Treasures. In the Sealed Cave, there are a few hidden treasures in the ground. Odd little fact about some of them is they lie about what they actually are. So here you'll find an invis edge, which is actually correct. Then over here, you'll find a water scheme, but they're called water edges in the game, and you'll see it in the inventory. This remedy over here is actually a soft. Well, that's a downgrade. Oh wait, what's this? 2000 GP? Nope, just 293 GP. Man, what a ripoff. Number 8, Retort Glitch. Oh Cyan, I do love making you useful. Without really breaking it down, this is what we do. First off, we need Cyan to die. Bye-bye, Cyan. Then, we revive him. Okay. Then after this, we let him use Retort. From this point on, many actions will actually trigger the Retort. So you can use something like a Blitz or a Steal. And if you do something like on Dadaluma, where you use a Steal and he counters it, this actually adds a +2 to the Retort counter, and we'll actually see 2 of the Retorts pop off. This is a pretty complicated thing when you really break it down, so we may break it down a bit more in a future video, but that's essentially how you set it up. Number 9, Hent Warping. Speaking of complicated, let's get a little complicated. Did you know that there's some places in Final Fantasy VI that share coordinates? What if I told you that there are spots in Moblez and South Figaro that also share a coordinate with the top of Kefka's tower? And why does this even matter? So what we're gonna do is come to Moblez and change our party leader, show them on the map, and then change the party leader again. This will store their coordinate onto that spot. Now if we go to Kefka's tower and we change our party leader but interrupt it with a tent, notice how our party leader didn't change because we interrupted it with the tent animation. That's kind of weird though. So by putting people in specific locations and not moving them but changing parties, the game will go, oh crap, you're not supposed to be where you are right now, and it will try to fix the problem. So obviously some people have used this glitch to abuse the crap out of it, and Kefka's tower really isn't that hard. Just need to get everyone to the top. Number 10, the Sealed Cave Timer. As soon as you enter the Sealed Cave, all you need to do is have your memory cursor on Warpstone. Walk into the bridge room right at the edge of a bridge, holding X to open the menu immediately. You then need to have a turbo going, so you use the Warpstone as soon as possible. From this point on, you're going to walk back into the Sealed Cave and out, holding X coming out so that you can get to the menu immediately. You will use a tent and hold down. From this point on, you'll notice that you're on the airship. Now, you can do this before even going to the banquet, which lets you skip over a whole bunch of stuff, and we shouldn't even have an airship right now. So from this point on, we can do some pretty silly things. You'll notice that Strago and Realm are Moogles right now because we've never actually met them, because we've never gone to Thamasa. So if you went to just leave the bottom of the ship, since we're technically parked right now, it'll put you... Oh. Okay. Well, this is a place. Alright, so maybe we don't want to do that. If we fly now, we can now traverse the entire world. That's pretty cool. We got an airship really early, and now we can just fly around and do whatever. Small problem. Even though you can get in and fly, like we showed walking out of the bottom, you can fly away once you actually get some coordinates. You can't access the console controls, which is bad because now we can't go to the floating continent, which is bad because now we're stuck in the world of balance. Maybe this means that Kefka never wins and we actually win the game. That's kind of cool. Now, another thing you can do is just go straight to the floating continent when it gives you the option. And this is how we do the big skip. But that's not very fun. Since we're flying around the world anyways, Strago is technically hanging out in Thamasa. His Moogle is there, but his character flag is still hanging around Thamasa. So let's go see what happens when we go talk to him. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Well, okay. Maybe I shouldn't have done that.